Everyone, welcome to this February 26th regular council meeting. I will call our meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. and I will ask everyone to stand for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Cattle si porti Sensi we stand on. Canada, we stand on. Stand on.
Fantastic. So we're going to kick today off shirt day. That many of you have worn your shirts today, your pink shirts. So thank you very much for that. It's an important day. Today we recognize that it is a movement that promotes kindness, inclusion, and the fight against bullying in our schools, workplaces, and communities. This initiative began all the way back in 2007 when two high school students in Nova Scotia, David Shepard and Travis Price, took a stand against witnessing a fellow student after he was being bullied for wearing a pink shirt. Their simple yet powerful act of distributing pink shirts to their peers sent a strong message that bullying has no place in our society. What started as a small act of solidarity has now grown into a global movement, reminding us all of the impact of kindness and collective action. Bullying affects people of all ages, leading to emotional distress, mental health challenges, and in some cases, tragic outcomes. It is our responsibility as leaders and community members to foster environments where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued. Wearing pink today is one of many ways we can send a message that we will not tolerate bullying in any form and that we support those who have been affected by it. Let's continue to stand together, not just today, but every day, to make our community a place where kindness and respect is the foundation of our interactions. So fantastic day to remember all of that. So thank you all for wearing your pink and standing strong to bullying and some of the off pink colors that we even chose to wear today. It's still the thought, so everyone looks fantastic. Doesn't matter what color, it's in your heart. Are there any additions to the agenda this morning?
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to make a note. We have a special presentation under Section 7 delegations this morning, just for council's information.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Is there a member of council that could adopt the February 26, 2025 regular meeting of council minutes with the addition of a delegation number 7 this morning? Councillor Gamana, thank you very much. All in favor? That is carried. Any corrections or amendments to the February 12th, 2025 regular meeting of council minutes? Is there a member of council that would like to adopt the February 12th, 2025? Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. All in favor? That is carried. No proclamations this morning, no public hearings. We do have a very special delegation that is coming out of Sunday's Hunter's Wish that happened at the Omniplex. So we're going to kick it off with a video for everyone to watch this morning. So this is the global video. Can you see it up here? Okay. Can't hear it yet.
Community wish of his was granted. Aaron has the details.
Stakes are high for the Drayton Valley Drillers. Competing in their final.
It always happens, right? It's always ready to go, and then when it's the day of, yeah, just pause it and see if, audio at the top, can you go? Got it? You can just hit restart.
Boy in Drayton Valley. Today, his sister's ringette game with the help of the community. A wish of his was granted. Abby Militharan has the details.
Stakes are high for competing in their final. Glued to the ice, but for this 9-year-old spectator,
He's not always super invested in the game itself. It's all about the Zamboni.
as Jordan Bullock cheers for her daughters on the ice, she watches her son Hunter get excited over a machine.
When the Zamboni comes out, he will be banging on the glass.
Hunter was born with several birth defects, kidney abnormalities, seizures, and a hole in his heart are just to name a few. Jordan says his upbringing has been challenging. So, to cheer him up,
Well, our manager, Sarah, had this great idea that we should have Hunter ride on the Zamboni.
the town councilor's daughters play on the same team. He pulled a few strings.
Mhm.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation signed on. Members of the town chipped in wherever possible, including a local welding company that built a specialized chair.
This is normal for Drayton Valley to be as tight knit as we are.
Hunter straps in. He goes. Jordan says the 15 minutes of laps around the ice made all the difference.
Just by the look of his face, he absolutely loved it.
Jordan thanks the town for banding together to make Hunter's wish come true. She says the love and kindness showered on her little boy is what keeps her going.
I know that this is something that you wouldn't just get anywhere.
Our town motto is pulling together. So in this instance, I think this is just exemplifies that, right?
Now that the Zamboni is crossed off Hunter's bucket list, Jordan believes he will probably dream bigger.
Who knows, probably sitting in the cockpit of a plane.
For now, she says Hunter will enjoy this ride. Abby Militharan, Global News.
Wow. What a fantastic story. And you're so right, Colin. We are a community that pulls together and we just seem to just hit that or make that bar higher like every time. Fantastic. There was a lot of people that made this special day happen. It started with the ringette and then Colin, Councillor Clark had brought it forward and pulled some strings as the video had said and made it happen. And there was two particular people in our organization that went above and beyond and really took this to the next level. And that is Ms. Heather Pollard and Mr. Kendall Millen. So we would love you to come down and congratulate you with a little plaque this morning. Do you want to, you know what, do you want to hand these out? Yeah, I don't know, but we can get one with them and then I'm going to put it out the page. Oh, look, let's get a picture of these three first and then, yeah. Great job, guys. Is he?
Yeah.
So he did the chair.
Carriage welding.
Wow.
But it's for like buildings in Canada. There is no better place that's ever done it,
Really?
except for the States. There's one place in the States, so we had to do some research on how we were gonna do this.
Wow.
Carriage welding really was, we bought the seat and they was like, we gotta figure this out, so.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Great job, you guys. Thank you so much for making that happen.
And it can be reused over and over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, you made his day, that's for sure. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, yeah.
Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So much.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, if you're still proud, I do try.
Madam Mayor, members of council, a footnote to the story is we understand somebody in the community has come forward to offer Hunter a seat in an airplane. for a
What?
ride. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's fantastic.
so the good story continues, so.
Oh, I
yeah,
love
it's
it.
a snowball and, yeah, snowball of
Oh.
happiness, so.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. What a great story. And doesn't it make you like love that part of your job that you get to do something like this and have that impact on so many people's lives? And sometimes you have those crappy days and you think, what am I doing? But when you have days like this, it's like, it's amazing, right? Like you just made a huge impact in such a young fellow's life and a family's life. So thank you for that. Great job.
Also, Madam Mayor, I understand that Councillor Clark has a new career in television as well.
Yeah, right? You can take.
This
some
will,
of the
this will be
pressure off
my,
me now,
this will be
right?
my last one. I'm headed to LA here pretty quick, so.
You've had a casting call, right? Yeah,
He had a number of phone calls from agents trying to sign him up already, so.
right? Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Good job. You did a fantastic job. Oh, great story, everyone, and great work. Thank you all so much for that. Fantastic. So we have no business arising from the delegation. The only business is there's another good story coming out of this. So it's that pay it forward in the community that we always seem to do. And we have just such a spectacular community. So thanks to everyone that made this happen and is making the next thing happen. We'll move right into our decision items this morning. Our first up is Mr. Vincent with 9.1, Certificate of Recognition, our audit and award.
Madam Mayor, to the chair, all members of council, we continue with good news stories. So I'd like to present to yourself and thank Alyssa Tiffin for being next to me this morning and Paula, who did a lot of work on this particular project. So in the fall of 2024, the town of Drayton Valley underwent an audit process with Alberta Municipal Health and Safety Association, AMHSA. This audit process included a thorough review of the town's safety protocols, training programs, site inspection records, incident records, hazard assessments, and worker engagement. We are more than pleased to report that the audit resulted in a very favorable outcome of 94%, confirming that our safety practices are robust and align with safety standards, with the ultimate award of a certificate of recognition, and that is CORE. A CORE certificate serves as recognition of an organization's commitment to maintaining a safe and healthy workplace. So you may ask, why do we want this CORE recognition and certificate? Partnerships in Injury Reduction, PIR program, is a joint project of the Government of Alberta and AMHSA that is designed to help organizations implement effective health and safety programs that encourage the injury prevention, assess and control workplace risks and hazards, and create a culture of workplace safety. The PIR program works with certifying partners such as AMHSA to award COREs to employers. It recognizes that a meaningful and well-implemented health and safety management system will lead to the reduction in workplace losses, injuries, and illnesses. The program also helps municipalities earn financial incentives to encourage the implementation of effective health and safety management systems. All Alberta municipalities are eligible to participate in this voluntary program. Administration is very proud to report that through hard work and commitment to the town safety program, the town of Drayton Valley has achieved the maximum rating discount and has saved, listen to this, $141,090 in WCB premiums. This data is pulled directly from the town of Drayton Valley's WCB account as of February 15th of 2025. I commend the staff, our entire organization, for this phenomenal outcome and result. Next steps are to continue to work with all employees of the town of Drayton Valley to enhance the safety management program. This work is collaborative and includes the input of all employees. I must say that achieving 94% is outstanding. It means that we have a little bit more work, and there are a few things that we can do to improve that number. Ultimately, we'd like to see it 100%, but if we achieve 98 or 99, I'll be very, very proud and very satisfied. With that, myself and Alyssa be proud to answer any questions or provide any clarifications that members of council might have on our report, and that we recommend council accept the Certificate of Recognition Core Audit and Review Report as good news and as information. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that good news story. Are there any questions for administration this morning? No? Is there a member of council that would like to make a motion? Councilor Sheriffs?
Thank you very much for that report. I'd like to make a motion that council accepts Certificate of Recognition, Audit, and Reward Report as information.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? My only comment is, did you have a comment, Councillor Evans? Sure.
Considering some of the challenges that the town has seen in the past, I think, yourself and all the employees should be very proud that the core audit turned out so well. It's nice to see everyone's paying close attention to safety. It's so important, as we all know. It's the biggest thing that keeps our people going home safe and all in one piece at night. So just a thank you from council.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Evans. I would echo that, coming off of a tragedy a few years back, it's nice to see that we've increased our safety and our health regulations. We've made improvements, and we're moving forward, exactly like you said, to bring home our members of the community and our team of town employees here. So thank you for doing that, and happy to see that we're going to be continuing to raise that bar and setting those goals as high as we possibly can, because it's very important. So thank you for all the hard work. There is a motion on the floor, and if there's no further comment, question, or debate, then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much for the report. Next up is 9.2, Council Policy and Procedure Policy. Mr. Vincent again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through the chair to all members of council. Local government plays a pivotal role in shaping communities through the decisions you make and the services we provide. A clear, formalized approach to policies and procedures is essential for ensuring consistency, accountability, transparency, and efficiency in local government operations. Establishing a policy that governs how policies and procedures are created, reviewed, and that's an important aspect, and implemented will strengthen the local government ability to serve the public effectively while reducing risks associated with mismanagement. Governments are bound by various regulations, laws, and ethical standards that must be adhered to. A policy on policies and procedure ensures that the town is compliant with the applicable laws and helps mitigate risks of non-compliance, which can result in financial penalties or reputational damage. clear procedures for policy review and approval allow the careful and regular scrutiny of any legal implications of decisions. Establishing a council policy on policies and procedures, and it seems funny in the wording that you need a policy on policy, but it is an important element of this, is essential for ensuring that decisions are made consistently, transparently, and in compliance with legal and ethical standards. By clearly defining where responsibility lies within the organization, council can avoid inefficiencies, reduce risks, and enhance its ability to serve the community effectively. And this council has been demonstrating that clearly over the past 6 months, in my humble and professional opinion. A policy on policies and procedures will be a foundational tool in promoting good governance, accountability, and long-term success for local government. Should council approve and adopt the proposed council policy and procedures policy, policy would be communicated and shared with the entire organization. And this is through the executive committee and the management team committee, as well as through departmental meetings and through various techniques, including emails and meetings, starting with the upper management. Should council approve and adopt the new council policy and procedures policy, the policy will be communicated and shared across the organization, placed into the town's records management system, and as well, I believe it will be part of what we communicate to the public, having it available through our website. Additionally, upon council approval of the policy and procedures policy, administration will adopt a procedure to ensure the organization has, understands, and follows procedures when developing new policy and/or procedure. The procedure will include steps that the administration follows when developing a policy and/or procedures. For example, who develops the policy and/or procedure? What is the consultation process? Who approves the policy and/or procedure? What is a policy versus what's a council policy versus an administrative policy? How are policies and procedures maintained? And what should policy and procedures look like? So it's a standardization in terms of format and approach. And again, it speaks to the whole matter of being consistent. If council has any questions or wishes any clarifications, myself and Alicia would be very pleased to answer those. And at the conclusion, we offer this recommendation that council approve and adopt council policy and procedures policy as presented in report RFD 25-039. Thank you for the opportunity to present this to you.
Thank you very much for that. It was a bit of a tongue twister with all those procedures and policies. You did a great job of reading that. Any questions for administration? Councillor Gamana?
Thank you. Good morning. Just from my understanding, I guess when you read through this, it looks like, that's the normal procedure that we usually follow. But, having that documented here, what are the changes that you see here versus what we've been doing previously?
Madam Mayor, through the chair to Councillor Gamana and to all members of council, what has been apparent is that there are a number of policies, current council policies, which are really administrative policies. And that has been the most telling aspect of it. So this sets out clearly that the chief administrative officer on page 2 of the policy reviews and approves the final draft policy to administration, presenting to council for adoption, to certify the original of the council policy after it's been approved, oversee and approve the development, review, and updating of procedures required for successful implementation, and to ensure established procedures are being followed by assigning a position to maintain the policies and procedures for the town. This includes establishing, maintaining, and controlling the numbering, indexing, distribution. So one of the things that we have identified as an opportunity is the regular review, setting out a time frame for when policies should be reviewed and updated, which has not been the case in the past. So that provides us with this basis, and council's confidence in the administration with the adoption of the policy will ensure that occurs on the regular basis. So my experience has been council policies deal with things that affect the community on a broad-based basis, and that administrative policy are policies that affect and are within the organization. And that's the division between the two. So if you look at our current policies, there's a number of policies that are termed or have been approved by council, which really are administrative in nature. And as a result of this review, we'll be bringing forward some recommendations of rescinding past policies that are viewed to be administrative and ensuring that we have a good sound basis for moving forward with the development of policies and subsequently the procedures with those particular policies.
Okay.
Did you understand that? I'm a bit with you.
Sorry, no, thank you for that, that answer, but then again, exactly.
We're having a course on policy and procedures here.
Maybe we should have had a little bit like some spreadsheets and these are some working boards. This should have been like more of a working group to break it down as simpler for us.
I'm trying to wrap my head around where, you know, what are we doing now versus what's proposed and what's going to change, right? That's all I'm trying to.
So
wrap my
maybe
head
an example of a policy, or maybe looking for an example of a policy that we would be rescinding. Would that help?
Yeah, it could be. And, you know, having, you know, I understand saying that, you know, there's administrative policies, there's council policies, you know, sometimes it's kind of a gray area as well, you know, there's that happening as well. So, you know, trying to understand, you know, having this there, is it going to restrict either council or the administration of doing something that should be done, right? So that's the next step that I'm trying to wrap my head around as well.
Madam
Sorry.
Mayor, through the chair to Councillor Gamana, it will in no way restrict council's ability in terms of action nor the administration. Purpose is to streamline that, to create that particular understanding for both the administration and for council. So if you go to definitions, council policy is a statement of the town council's commitment, position, or overall intention in specific areas of its responsibilities. And so council always has the purview and the mandate to develop policies that they see necessary for the strong and efficient operation of the organization. But again, council's policies by nature speak to the community and community-wide things. So great examples of that are land use bylaws, municipal development plans, traffic safety. Those are things that are part of council's duties legislated by the MGA. When it comes to operations, such as hiring practices, I see that there are a couple policies in place now where council is crossing over into the administration with regards to hiring. Council has one employee, and that's their CAO. And so a policy previously brought forward still in the books by a former CEO says that council is involved in hiring general managers. Very sorry, with due respect, that is my job. That's not council's job. So that would be a prime example where it's inconsistent with the duties legislated by council and those delegated to the CEO through the CEO bylaw. So though that would be one policy immediately that comes to mind that we'd be bringing to council to have it rescinded because it's already covered under the CEO bylaw.
And I think there was another policy, would this be an example that was about administration, about clothing, what clothing you could be worn and things like that? And I know council questioned that as that would be an administrative policy, not a council policy.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So trying to, just separate those particular responsibilities by bringing this forward, giving that clear message to the organization and moving forward from there. And then subsequent steps is the review and bringing forward those particular policies which don't align. Hopefully that's more clear. I was way
Yeah.
off.
Thank you for that.
Any other questions? Is there a member of council that'd like to make a motion? Councilor Evans, it's your turn. It's gone around.
Well, this is definitely a very governmental policy, that's for sure. So I'll make the motion that, oh, is this different? Let me see here. Okay,
So not-
sorry, I just read the other one and then I looked up and this one was there. I'll make the motion that council approve and adopt the council policy and procedures policy, C-01-25, as presented in report RDF-25-039.
Thank you very much for the motion. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? I think that we're all clear now of what the policies and procedures and policies mean. Right? Stay out of the weeds. Yeah, exactly. If there's no further comment or debate on this, then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much for that. Next up, 9.3, Police Governance Committee. Mr. Tom Thompson. Good morning this morning.
Good morning.
Ryan? Good
Madam
morning
Mayor,
this morning.
Council. So I'm here this morning to bring forward a request for decision regarding the Police Governance Committee. We've had a very short turnaround on this. We were notified in December and it has been a very quick turnaround to try and get information. We didn't receive a lot of information from the province. With this one, I just wanted to thank Cody and the staff for doing a lot of research to bring this forward today. So as council has been made aware, in December of 2024, we received notice that the government of Alberta changed the Police Act to include a police governance regulation component. A key change that was implemented was that all municipalities were required to create or join a policing committee and to develop a bylaw to reflect that. The purpose for this committee is to represent the public's interests and concerns and relay those on to the local police agency. So in our case, it would be the RCMP. Develop a yearly plan of priorities and strategies in collaboration with the RCMP. Develop a community safety plan. Assist in the selection of a staff sergeant for the local detachment. And report to the minister on programs and services that help achieve the police priorities. So the town of Drayton Valley has two options, which included joining other municipalities to form a regional police committee or to ask the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services to form our own municipal police committee. If the town was to choose the regional police committee option, we would join other municipalities similar in population to us from the Western region, which is the region we fall in as per the RCMP regions. That would include the towns of Edson, Hinton, Whitecourt, and Peace River. The question can be asked, why could we not form a regional police committee with Brazeau County and the village of Breton? Unfortunately, Brazeau County and the village of Breton don't qualify for a regional police committee. Instead, as per the legislation, they have to join a provincial police advisory board. So there's a little bit of difference between rural areas and the municipalities. As part of this regional police committee, one person would be appointed by each municipality for a period of 2 to 3 years. Additional members might be able to be added to that, but that would depend on the approval of all the other partners involved in the regional committee. If the town were to choose a local municipal policing committee, then council would have to send a letter to the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services requesting an exemption from the Regional Policing Committee in favor of forming our own municipal policing committee. At the present time, we don't have any real rules and regulations around forming our own in terms of committee size or how that would all shape out. But similar to other community committees, we should have a minimum of 2 council members being appointed, with the remainder of the committee members being members of the public and or members of administration. It is important to note that the province would also, or may also, appoint a provincial member to any local municipal policing committee. We do not have the option to opt out of this. We are mandated to do this by the province. All members of the committee are required to go through an enhanced police clearance check process, which is going to be done through the province. The cost is approximately $300 per person, in which the province will cover it the first time around, but any additional members or any new members, that will be on the municipality to cover those costs. In discussions with various members at various levels of administration, the Community Safety Committee and our local RCMP administration is recommending that council moves forward with our own local municipal policing committee to ensure that the priorities that are of importance in our community are the ones that are focused on by the RCMP. Consequently, the recommendation provided is to move forward with that process. And the recommendations are 2. The first one is that council accepts the police governance committee presentation. And then the second one is that council directs the mayor to send a letter to the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services requesting an exemption from the Regional Policing Committee and for the town of Drayton Valley to be able to form their own municipal policing committee. And I'm open for discussion.
Thank you very much for that. And the deadline is Saturday, right?
Correct. For that letter, originally the province of Alberta said that we had to have our bylaw in place by the 1st of March.
Yeah.
However, they since realized that that is unattainable for almost all municipalities. So they have provided us with a little bit of leeway in terms of, as long as we are working forward or working on it and moving forward with the process, then they are happy with that. So.
Perfect. Any questions for administration? Councillor Sheriffs?
I don't have any questions, but I do sit on the committee and we did discuss this a little bit. And it seems like 3 out of the 5 municipalities that we'd be working with already decided pretty much to go with the municipal. So it really leaves us no option, and I'd probably prefer it this way anyways. So
Yeah.
I'm in favor of this.
Thank you for that. Councillor Evans, questions?
Actually, another comment. Yeah, I'm in favor of the local committee. I think it's the way to go. I think eventually if we were to go with the regional committee, we'd just be spending more money trying to get all the people to these regional committees, and looks like the costs are going to fall on us in the end. So yeah, that's what I would support. I do have one little comment on this police governance regulation. When I read through it, section 5-2 states, a member of a joint municipal policing committee shall not be a full-time member of the joint municipal policing committee. Doesn't make any sense at all.
There are several errors and several things in that legislation that everybody is somewhat shaking their head about. And the people who are kind of in charge of it have also recognized that there are some issues with it and it needs to be changed.
Yeah, seems like they've kind of pushed this out pretty quick and want everybody to get on board and then put on the brakes and said, okay, we'll give you the time you need to get it done. Yeah. Okay, thanks for that, Tom. Yeah, I'm in support of the local.
Perfect, thank you. Councillor Gamana?
Yeah, no, I agree. And as we discussed, I think the local committee is the way to go. Shall I make a motion?
Yeah, absolutely, if you want to.
Sure, thank you. I would like to make a motion that council directs the mayor to send a letter to the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services requesting an exception from the Regional Policing Committee and for the town of Drayton Valley to be able to form their own municipal policing committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Did you get that? Oh, perfect. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? Then I'll call the motion that was made. All in favor? That is carried. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Mr. Thompson.
And Mayor, if we can also get a motion to accept this report as information.
Oh, okay,
Please,
perfect. So
thanks.
there's two motions. Councillor Clark, did you want to make the second motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to accept the Police Governance Committee presentation as outlined as information.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. There's motion on the floor. Any comment, question, debate? And I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you for that. That did too, yeah, yeah. Okay, moving along, 9.4, Enforcement Services Vehicle and Equipment Purchase. Mr. Vincent.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through the chair to all members of council. I first of all want to thank and recognize the latitude council has provided me on this particular item. At a briefing session following the approval of the 2025 budget, I had approached council with this capital item, which had not been approved in the 2025 capital budget. And council did give me the go-ahead to examine and bring back a report if there is possible cost savings. And through the capital budget process, administration had brought forward a request for purchase and outfitting of a new vehicle for enforcement services with a price up to $130,000. The vehicle will be used by enforcement services to conduct enforcement-related duties. Officers rely heavily on their vehicle to be able to fulfill their roles effectively for patrolling neighborhoods, responding to calls, assisting emergency services, and much, much more. The constant use of their patrol vehicles serve as a reliable mode of transportation to address public safety concerns, making the vehicle an integral part of daily operations. It's one of their greatest assets and tools. During the budget process, council elected not to proceed with the request as part of the 2025 budget. However, further discussions have occurred between myself and council regarding the importance of a new vehicle and equipment for enforcement services. Administration has been able to find cost savings through changing the type of vehicle, obtaining more quotes from vendors, and removing or changing equipment, taking the cost now to just under $100,000, a $30,000 savings. If approved, the administration will proceed with ordering a vehicle and the equipment to give the new vehicle, to get the new vehicle outfitted and operational as soon as possible. Is estimated it will take a minimum of 5 months from the approval to having a vehicle in place. Fortunately, the funding for the purchase would be done through the LGFF, Local Government Financial Framework, which provides capital funding for local governments. So there's no direct impact on our budget or on the taxpayers. And as my discussions with the general manager of corporate services, this will be one of our first more minor projects that we spend this particular funding on. So this is a good news item from the administration's perspective. The other thing to share with council, we spent over $8,000 in repairing the one vehicle last year. So that'll be a cost savings, and add to that another $8,000 in staff time in driving that vehicle back and forth for it to be serviced. So we're going to be saving between $15,000 and $20,000 in our operational budget with this capital purchase. So if you look at the $100,000 expenditure that's coming from grant funding and offset that with the $15,000 to $20,000, the net purchase is between $80,000 and $85,000 is really what the net impact from my perspective is. Having reliable, dependable vehicles is imperative to the ongoing operations of enforcement services. A new vehicle and equipment would ensure that staff are able to effectively respond to calls for service and patrol the community, and that we would have reliable vehicles in service and not being in a repair shop someplace handicapping us and providing the level of response, what I refer to as the gold standard. Having reliable, dependable vehicles is imperative. So next steps, if council approves the request, administration will begin ordering the vehicle and equipment to get it in service as soon as possible. I would share an insight with you in the research that staff have done. There is a local dealership that is not the lowest bid, but the second lowest bid. And we would be speaking with them. If they can match the price of the lowest bid, we certainly would keep that business local. The vehicle price is about the $65,000 neighborhood, and it's going to cost about $30,000 for the equipment that's required in that particular vehicle. Unfortunately, it's a different type of vehicle that we are purchasing, so none of the equipment from the past vehicle is transferable or usable in the new equipment. So therefore, there's a $30,000 expense. So brings up into $95,000 area, between 95 and just under $100,000. So we'll be pleased. I know Cody's done a lot of the research, and Tom has supported him in that. I've been very pleased with the effort. They've taken a lot of time, risen to the task and the challenge. So we'd be pleased to answer any specific questions the council has. And it's a white vehicle, right, with pinstriping, so.
Thank you.
It's not red like a fire truck, so I can tell you that.
Thank you very much for that.
And we'll make the recommendation, Madam Mayor, that upon answering all of council's questions and inquiries, that you consider the recommendation that council approve the purchase of a new vehicle and equipment for enforcement services up to $100,000, with it being funded through the LGFF, Local Government Financial Framework Grant, as outlined in this report, RFD 25-046. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that. Any questions for administration? Councillor Evans?
So what are you buying?
It's looking like it's gonna be a Ford Explorer.
Explorer. So V6 twin turbo? Don't know.
Supercharged somehow. You'll race around the track fast.
Yeah. I guess my question is, so you're getting an SUV. How often do you arrest and transport people in the back of your vehicles? Does it happen, or would you phone the RCMP if you had somebody who needed to be arrested?
It depends on what it is. We do have authorities to arrest, so it's not very common that we're doing arrests. More so in our scope of work, it's actually putting the animals in the back so that they're not able to come and bite us as we're driving or whatever. So that's a lot of where that kind of prisoner partition area, if you want to call it that, is more used for animals, but it does have the ability as well for people.
Okay. I guess what I'm wondering is whether a pickup would give you better use. And I'm just thinking, if we have another emergency and you two are running around hauling, roadblocks and all that kind of stuff. I guess that's maybe my question. If even though obviously you can get a pickup with a back seat in it. The other thing with both, and I'm just talking Chevy and Ford right now, but you can get non-turbo V8 in either one of those. And the only reason I'm looking at the turbo is you guys are going to jump in those things and go at times if you've got an emergency. And having those two turbochargers on there cold when you're putting your foot in it is tends to be a little bit hard on them. And again, I'm just looking long-term reliability. So I guess I'm asking you, was there consideration of a pickup truck, of a standard V8 motor? Go ahead, you can respond to my questions.
No worries. So in regards to consideration for a pickup truck, as we were looking at this, we were looking at either cars, SUVs, or pickups. In a municipal setting, or urban setting, I guess, SUVs are ideal. They provide the cargo space in the back to be able to put our equipment and stuff in there. For example, we currently have a truck right now. We're not putting any of our gear in the back seat because if you do need to arrest someone or you're just picking up a dog off the road or whatever, you don't have time to move a bunch of stuff back and front or back and forth. So then you have challenges if the back or if the box of the truck isn't secure, is stuff going missing depending on where you are. So having an SUV or a car, having that trunk space, if you want to call it that, really allows for your equipment to properly be stored and put away safely, so that there is no abilities for it to go missing and we're not constantly moving stuff back and forth. A truck also provides, in a county setting, trucks make a lot more sense. In the urban setting though, if we're trying to turn around to go pull over a violator or something like that, SUV, maybe a 1-point turn, 2-point turn, truck, you're sitting there doing a 10-point turn and they're gone by the time you can get turned around often. So there are some challenges on that kind of aspect. When we look at having the ability to kind of move different things, in your example, you provided like emergencies, right? Even your day-to-day stuff, if we're finding property in the community that needs to be picked up, right? The truck does provide some of those efficiencies in that kind of aspect if we can't squish it in to the vehicle. But again, in my view, kind of your day-to-day, what it's normally used for, the SUVs do come with that better day-to-day use, I guess. When it comes to engine discussions, clear as day, I am not an engine kind of guy. I've had some basic level discussions with the dealerships on the different size of motors and what they do, but that needs further discussions on kind of what's the best motor for what we're looking at. Price range, they're pretty close, at least with the Explorer that we're looking at. So,
Tom, did you have something you wanted to add?
Just to add to the type of the vehicle, we're going to get the police package put into it, so that when it comes out of the manufacturers, they'll adjust for the quick acceleration and all the rest of that stuff because it's going to be used in a policing capacity. So.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if the police package addresses that per se. And in the end, it's, I mean, they make today's motors pretty robust as far as being turbos. Again, it's just two items that tend to be troublesome, and you'll have two of them in the V6 Ford. As opposed to a simpler, more basic, but still the same horsepower V8, but that's only available in a pickup. I don't think it's even available in the Explorer. So, I guess in the end, it's you that's got to drive it and use it. If you feel that's a better way to go, I'm kind of stuck unless I really want to push this, but I guess we'll take your recommendation. I will say that, Mr. Vincent, I think you're shy on what we spent on that car. I think you could. Anyway, I've let you know of my concerns with how that all kind of happened with that car and how long we waited to address it. And I guess that's as far as I'll get into it. Yeah, if you think the SUV is the way to go, I guess I'll support that.
Thank you.
Keep an eye on those turbos.
Any other question? Councillor Gamana, do you have a question?
Thank you. No, this is regarding the previous vehicle, as Rick mentioned. So, I understand that I'm probably crossing over to the administrative side here, but do we have a plan on that vehicle? What are we going to do with that? Given that we probably spent some money on that as well for the last couple of years there. Is there anything that we can recoup out of that?
Just clarify, is there anything we can what at the end there?
Recoup, like, can
Oh,
we
like sell kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So couple things on this one, like ideally, if we can keep it as a backup so that again, if our main vehicles, the main two, the pickup truck and the SUV are in the shop, currently what we're facing right now is one of the vehicles are in the shop, we're sitting in the office. So if we can limp it along with very little additional costs, that'd be preferred. But if it's not something that we can keep kind of thing, then I'd suggest probably at this point, probably go to auction, kind of just with the age and the issues with it. So we'd get some money for the vehicle, but it's nothing that we'd be running to the bank over, so.
Also regarding the I guess through the budget, we've allocated most of it, and now we've found some extra funding, or how did?
Yeah, it was funded previous to you guys cutting it. It was already funded by LGFS.
Okay.
So.
And that was not in the budget, but now we can somehow fit that in? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sure. Councillor Evans, do you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, as far as hanging on to the old one, generally fuel injected vehicles don't like sitting for too long. I think hanging on to that thing and jumping in it once a year, or once every 6 months or something, I think you may just end up running that thing into Edmonton a bunch more times. I think I would recommend anyway trying to salvage what we can out of it. But I think you also need to be honest, however you sell it, that there has been issues. I'm assuming we got it off another municipality and they weren't forthcoming. Yeah, I think I'd maybe even mention that to them. Thanks very much for selling us your lemon without letting us know. I just have one other question. Where are we, this place where we kept taking our old vehicle in Edmonton, are we using them for this new vehicle? Like, where are you getting the additional equipment installing? And if it is the same place in Edmonton, should we be looking at that a little harder?
So the vehicle, when it was originally built for the previous municipality, was built by a third-party supplier, I don't know what else to call them at this point, in southern Alberta. The majority of issues we've been having have been actual mechanical. So we've been taking them to our local dealerships. We've been taking them to local shops. Once we couldn't get them fixed at local shops, we ended up starting to use the cities, the different dealerships in the city to try and troubleshoot and fix the problems. In addition to that, on some of the actual equipment, law enforcement equipment, that was going to a shop in Edmonton. There's essentially two shops in Edmonton that we can use. One of them I don't recommend at all. The other one that we were using, they were troubleshooting as much as possible, but they weren't the ones that originally built the vehicles. So they didn't have any schematics of where everything was wired. So it was kind of a fishing trip in a lot of instances to try and find where things were. So In my previous experience using that specific company, if they build it, if there are any issues, it's pretty quick to get them fixed and resolved at that point because they know where everything is at that point. But yeah.
So you're going to take it to that same place?
For the most part, a lot of the work that will be done will be local here. If there's something specialized, then obviously it would go to the city.
I guess I would just question, we all know how many times you took that car into these folks in Edmonton and it turned out to not well
Yeah.
in the end. At what point in time do they tell you, listen, we can't fix this thing? I think you gave them more than sufficient opportunity with all the times you took it in. I would consider anyway, if there's any other options. And as Tom said, yes, all the work that you can get done locally should be done. Tom, does the county, do you use that same place, or how do they equip their stuff?
Yeah. For CPO vehicles, yes, they would use the same place in the city. For any mechanical work, however, they would do it in the shop.
Darryl,
So
yeah.
all of our fire vehicles and everything go to the county shop for repair.
Okay, and so mechanical would be local for this? We
Yeah.
don't have the capacity to do any of our own repairs in-house? Don't we have two mechanics?
We do, and they worked on it and got to a point where it was beyond their scope. So that's
Right.
why it ended up going to the city.
But this one we're buying now, once it's off warranty or whatever, we'd be looking at doing whatever we could in-house?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, and the normal ongoing maintenance, the car, for example, the one that's been causing us most of the issues is a Dodge. We're moving towards hopefully a Ford in this case. So we're not using the same dealerships working on a Dodge versus a Ford kind of thing, right? So as we move forward with the Ford, obviously we've got our Ford dealership in town. Hopefully they're able, if there are any issues, they can hopefully fix it if our mechanics can't. But then that would be one of those things where if we do need to outsource it externally from the community, it's not going to the same Ford dealerships or the same Dodge dealerships as before, for example, right? So.
mm-hmm. Okay, well, I mean, hopefully you're starting from a lot better place than the old one. And it won't end up like that. And hopefully if you do start running into issues like you did, you will address them long before we've gone down that rabbit hole that we did with that Dodge. But yeah, I think I would recommend that we get rid of that piece of junk, because I think even if it's just sitting there and you're gonna jump on it, use it for a spare or whatever, I think it's gonna let you down. I mean, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And I think you're gonna find the same result, even though you're not putting a ton of miles on it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Is there a member of council that would like to make a motion? Councillor Evans? After all that, we'll allow you to make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that council approves the purchase of a new vehicle and equipment for enforcement services up to $100,000 to be funded through the LGFF grant as outlined in RFD-25-46.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? My only comment would be is you might see some extra kilometers put on that with the changes or the addition now to the letter that's included in our package from Alberta Public Safety and Emergency Services. I don't know if your workload will now increase with the alignment of CPOs under our local RCMP. So hopefully this new and improved vehicle will will help you and our other staff to keep up with the new changes that are coming, even though they're not really new changes for us in a sense. You have been working with our RCMP, but when it comes to fentanyl and drugs in our community, hopefully we can do our best to get them out. So you'll be racing around town, fighting crime with that in that aspect. So that's fantastic. If there's no further question or comment or debate, then there's a motion on the floor. I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And we have one other decision item this morning, 9.5. Mr. Rossing, this is the Community Safety Fund allocation.
Yes, thank you. So a couple of items for the Community Safety Fund that we're hoping to get approval for to move forward with. So as part of the Community Safety Committee's February 13th, 2025 meeting, again, just a refresher to council on who's on the committee. So there's a couple of members of the council, there's representatives from Fire Enforcement Services, RCMP, and Alberta Health Services. So part of their meeting, they expressed their desire to move forward with a couple of projects to increase safety within the community. The identified projects come with capital purchase costs, which are recommended to be funded through the Community Safety Fund, which currently sits at approximately $70,000. Previous projects of the Community Safety Fund that have paid for is 2 digital speed display signs, high visibility strips on stop signs and crosswalk signposts, and parking lot improvements at the Omniplex and Mackenzie Conference Center. So there's 4 projects that we're bringing forward seeking approval today. So the first one is for a positive ticketing program. So this would be intended to purchase rewards such as gift cards to be able to fund a positive ticket program within the community. The focus would be on youth doing positive things in the community, such as following the laws. So they're wearing their helmets on their bikes, they're crossing at crosswalks, etc., or doing positive actions such as holding doors open, helping someone out in their school or their community. And an officer catches them and observes this positive behavior. So this also creates a positive interaction and relationship with the youth and local law enforcement within the community. What we're seeking for that project is $1,000 for the purchase of the first round of rewards. So that'd be the gift cards to be able to give out to the youth when they are caught doing the positive actions. Project 2 that we'd be looking for is council has been given a little bit of information regarding a trespassing agent program. So we're kind of at the final stages of moving forward with that. So what we're looking to do is purchase a second form of trespassing agent stickers to be able to be placed on metal surfaces. So currently the stickers that we just bought are for like the inside of a window, which is fine if you've got glass windows at the start of your business. But if you just have a solid door, you don't have that window. We don't have that option currently to place that sticker there. So we're just looking at purchasing a second type of stickers depending on the actual business to be able to move forward with that. So high level, the agent program allows property representatives to designate local law enforcement as agents of the property to deal with trespassing related concerns without the need for the property representatives to have to be involved in the court process. So we're seeking $500 to purchase the first round of these different type of stickers for that. Project number 3 is a parade traffic management plan. So we'd be looking to have a third-party contractor develop a traffic management plan for the town's 2 main parade routes. So that'd be on 50th Avenue from 43rd Street down to 58th Street. And then the second one is 50th Avenue from 43rd Street to 50th Street, and then north on 50th Street up to 54th Avenue. So traffic management plan identifies the proper and required signs, placements, and detour routes that would be required to properly close down the road and detour traffic. This also begins the long-term planning for municipal operations to be able to have the required signage in place to in stock to deploy and effectively close down a road and prevent people from entering the parade routes when not permitted. So caveat on that one, this would kind of be that step 1 in a long-term process. I understand there's most likely going to be a lot of signs that we may or may not have currently. So, but this is kind of that step 1 on getting us in the right direction, getting some proper detours in place, etc. So we're estimating the costs for these 2 traffic management plans to be $2,900. And then project 4 is the CCTV cameras for the TELUS pilot project camera buyout. So I think 2019-ish, there was a pilot project with the town of Drayton Valley and TELUS placing up some CCTV cameras in the community. That pilot project didn't continue. The big issue, my understanding, was kind of the ongoing costs that it would have been to kind of keep those cameras going. So my understanding is the town and TELUS kind of ended that partnership. However, there's still a majority of those cameras within the community today that they work, but nobody's really got access to them. TELUS has access, but no one's looking at them. No one's doing anything with them. So in conversations with TELUS is they'd be willing to donate the cameras to us in their current state, as long as we entered into a 3-year agreement for their internet to be able to essentially get those the access. So the cost has been negotiated down to $85 per month per camera site, plus $12 a month per site for a static IP address. So there's 4 camera sites, so we'd be looking at $384 per month for these. They'd be 4 different locations. So one location would be down on 50th Street at the Derricks. The other location is 50th Street up by Boston Pizza. Third location is 50th Avenue, kind of by the old A&W intersection area there. And then the 4th location is 50th Avenue and the Ring Road intersection. So we'd be requesting for 2025 the cost of $4,608. So if all 4 of these projects are approved by council, we'd be looking for up to $9,008 to be able to move forward with these projects. So the recommendation, if council accepts it, at the conclusion of any questions and clarity that is needed, is that council approve up to $9,008 of expenditures out of the Community Safety Fund for projects outlined in RFD 25043. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your report. Any questions for administration? Councillor Evans, I'm going to limit you to 2 questions.
Well, it's not about cars this time, so I should be fairly short here.
I'm only saying that because that's what you put on Mr. Vincent last week.
Well, fair is fair. Yeah, the only thing that I have questions about is the cameras. So what are we trying to accomplish with the cameras? Accidents at these intersections mostly? Maybe you can just.
Yeah, so it really, for the most part, provides investigative assistance to the RCMP if they're looking for something as it pertains to stolen vehicles, missing people, stuff like that. Essentially, it, for the most part, captures our main intersections coming in and out of the community. However, where the cameras are located, it also provides some additional support if there are collisions at those intersections to be able to have that independent witness of exactly what happened. Good example is the intersection up at 50th Street and Boston Pizza. We have a number of collisions up at that intersection to be able to actually see exactly how those collisions are going on. So is there ways we can approach Alberta Transportation? And this is actually what's happening here. How can we fix this kind of thing? Those are things that I think are invaluable. Yeah, we can give them a report from the RCMP on a vehicle turn left on safely. Well, what does that actually mean, playing it out kind of thing, right? So actually having those kind of visuals, in my view, would really help kind of trying to move forward in some of those kind of changes as well from the province on making some positive improvements to the roadways. So we'd still, like we've got our CCTV camera policy in place, so we'd still have to make sure we're in compliant with all that kind of stuff. In conversations with TELUS as well, I don't think it's economical at this point, but there's nothing that would prevent us from moving the cameras to a new location as long as we keep their internet. So we'd have to pay for those kind of costs. Not something that we'd be looking at today, but at least we have those cameras. They're quite expensive. They are getting a little bit dated at this point, but last time I did see the views of the camera, they seem to be working just fine. So I'm anticipating we're going to get at least 3 years out of them. And if whatever happens and not, then there would just be that canceling payout of the contract, I guess. So.
Oh, okay. So after 3 years, but we don't have any additional obligation after that. We could renew, but we've got that option. Yeah. And I guess that's what I would suggest. I just see this as an opportunity to snowball, put some more cameras in. And then if you get a lot of FOIP requests, I can see, I need an administrative assistant to manage all these interactions. I don't think it's going to go there. Like it's got to be like a few accidents a year kind of thing that you'll be looking at probably.
Well, and part of that too is like with once we get them live on our system, through our CCTV policy, we only record for a maximum of 14 days. So part of that too, it's not, oh, I was in a collision 2 months ago, can you pull it? Sorry, it's not there, right? So
Yeah.
if something happens, it's up to the people, you got to be on top of it, right? Same thing with the RCMP, you want video from one of our facilities, you got to be on top of it. It's not wait until the end of your days off to come back and do it, because it's probably not going to be there, right? So I think that in itself kind of cuts down some of those extra requests as well. And that 14 days is a recommendation from the Office of the Privacy Commissioner as well, so.
Okay, yeah, I'd be for that on like a 3-year trial basis and review it after the 3 years and see how much time it's taken you and whether that's worth it. Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for that. Any other questions? Sure, Councillor Clark.
Just a point of clarification, I guess, for anybody online. So the community safety fund comes through the Travis funds, which these are not tax dollars, right? So I wanted to kind of provide that point of clarity. And one other question, a couple questions. One, the parade traffic management plan. Every year we get asked by HTA, hey, could we have a little parade? Should we loop that into here as well, if that's going to be an ongoing thing? Because inevitably it seems they come and ask us questions and then all of a sudden it's kind of the 11th hour and we're still don't have anything together, right? So I don't know if that's worth pursuing in that project 3 or not.
So with again, unless HTA has a different parade route, I'm not certain on that one. But if they are using the parade route of 50th Avenue, either from 43rd Street all the way up to 58th Street or to 50th and then up, that would be encompassed in here. And it's not specific to like a Canada Day parade or anything like that. It's just road closures for a parade in general. So, and I think if they do have a different route, we can always add it. I can quick grab the price per plan if we wanted to add that. Or my recommendation would be kind of just move forward with these 2 currently. And maybe we can, once we have kind of 2 different plans in place, maybe that's internally, we can just easily shuffle, maybe not. But.
Okay. Yeah, so I can just add to that. HTA's parade generally starts at the Catholic Church and goes straight down towards the school, and that would all be encompassed in the normal parade route. So it would be covered in this.
Okay, sounds good. Then the other question, I guess it's more of a comment, the TELUS pilot project. I believe during the fires, the RCMP had access to those and actually used them quite a bit. And I think they found it quite useful in that instance, right? So, I mean, that was when there was very little traffic in town. So I can imagine if, maybe they're looking for somebody in particular and, maybe that could come in very handy and potentially, increase the safety of our RCMP folks and your folks too. So I think it's very worthwhile.
Thank you for that. Councillor Kamana?
Thank you. No, I agree with that comment, Councillor Clark. At the safety committee, even RCMP mentioned that they've used that several times as well. I guess my question is, prior when we went through it, 2019, it was the administration who had access, one of the administration, I believe, who had the access, and RCMP had to go through them through a request process. So would that be still the same, where only RCMP can request? I don't think it was open for public to have, more requests coming in as far as I know. So it would be pretty much the same.
That's correct. Yes, it would be the same process.
Same process. Okay. The other piece was that, the software that TELUS provided at that time was pretty, I guess, very useful and pretty incredible at that time, 5 years ago as well. Is it the same software that we are going to use, or is it being improved? Do you know anything with that?
Yeah, so we're using our new cameras that we kind of purchased in 2023. 3/4, as we're kind of still trying to get online there. We're using Genetec software for that. So that is the same software that TELUS actually uses. So it does have quite a bit of capabilities. I'm still trying to learn it. I think Nathan's still trying to learn it. It has a lot of functionalities on it. So, but yeah, it is the same software. So that's where we're not having to kind of operate 2 different softwares for these cameras now. We'll essentially be able to integrate the TELUS cameras onto our software, and then it's all on one system. So.
Okay. Okay, and then, one of the administration will have access to that and then it will go through a request process.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I just have two questions. So for the CCTV cameras, was this not part of our 2024, 2025 budget? Did we have money that was allocated towards this?
So in previous budgets, we have money that's allocated to different CCTV projects. This request is to actually purchase, we're getting the cameras for free from TELUS, but essentially to pay for the internet for those TELUS cameras. So this would be additional cameras that would be on our systems.
Okay, so this is just over and above, and that whole project is still, like we said, still on track and
Yeah, we're still moving forward. We've got some of the cameras online. They're all put in place. We're just getting them all connected at this point, and then going to move forward kind of through the proper training phase. So all the users know it and stuff like that. We did have a policy that came forward last year, mid last year for cameras. So that's been in place. And we're just finalizing our procedure on that as well. So the day-to-day, how does that work as well? So.
Okay, perfect. And then another question, so project number 2, the trespassing agent program, that's for businesses then. So how are we, so we're, the request is the $500 to support the businesses. How do are they opting in or how is that?
Yeah, so the $500 is for us to purchase additional stickers. So
Yep.
that if the businesses are opting in, we give them a sticker so that it's displayed. So it's clear as day when we're getting calls there, we know they're part of this program. So we don't need to figure out, are you part of the program? Are you not? What can we do here? What can't we do? It's just clear as day. Us or the RCMP, we get a call, we show up to that location. As long as you got that sticker on your door that you have to get from us, you've been approved for this program. So we're good to go.
And how are you getting businesses to opt in?
Once we're live, we're going to be posting it on social media. We'll see what kind of uptake we get there. And then we're going to have it where, like, if we are getting called to businesses, if they're not already signed up, we're going to have those conversations. And we'll see how much uptake it starts with. But if it's one of those things where it's a little bit slow, I foresee we start moving forward with, as we're doing some foot patrols downtown kind of thing, let's start stopping in some businesses, having some conversations. Do you want to sign up or not? So still kind of to be finalized on that kind of stuff. But we're not going live until we've got all of our stickers and stuff like that ready to go, because the last thing we want is someone to sign up for it. And then, sorry, we don't have the stickers to properly sign you up. So we're getting close. We've got kind of most of our administrative stuff ready to go. It's just, I think it's just getting the stickers and we're good to go live with it. So.
Okay, perfect.
Madam Mayor, if I might add 2 additional strategies. We have the Drayton Valley Chamber of Commerce AGM this Friday morning, and I'll be attending. So certainly you take the opportunity to share that information with the chamber and their members. And second thing is, word will get out in the community very, very quickly when 1 or 2 businesses sign up and they've got a response from the RCMP and the RCMP have handled that. Word will spread like wildfire and there'll be a significant uptake after that.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Is there a member of council who'd like to make a motion, please? Councilor Sheriff?
I don't have my glasses on, but I'll try to read it. Because I see it's a little bit different than the one we have here. So I'd like to make a motion that council approve up to $9,008 of the expenditures out of the Community Safety Fund for projects outlined in RFD 25-043.
Thank you very much for that. Any comment, question, debate on the motion? I think it's fantastic that we're seeing the Travis funds being spent throughout the community to enhance community safety and awareness and everything like that. So great job to both of you and to the committee. So thank you for doing that. If there's no further comment, then I'll call the motion. All in favor? That is carried. And we'll have a 10-minute break and then we'll reconvene and jump into reports. To go at 10:36 a.m. We're jumping back in. We're done with our decision items. We'll jump back into council reports. Oh, Councilor Gamana, you are up first. Good thing I would have just, good thing, perfect timing.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For me, on the 13th, I had the opportunity to attend a shelter ports meeting. The challenges they had with the technology, the door locks, and all that seems to be sorted out. Hopefully, won't be an issue going forward. So almost all the ports are fully functional and usable now. On the same day at 5 in the afternoon, I got the opportunity to go to the Roots for Resilience Charter School info session. It was a great info session, similar information that we've got here as well, but there were community members there engaging, asking questions. So I'm looking forward to see how that pans out for our community. On the 18th, attended the DV Health Foundation meeting. It's great to see that the palliative care unit changes are happening right now. It's demolished. The walls are demolished, and they are working on getting that sorted out. So that's one project going forward, and I guess then the next one after that would be the eSIM lab that they're going to work on. So the Health Foundation is working on getting that sorted out as well. On the 19th, attended the GNP meeting as well as the Economic Development meeting in the afternoon. And yesterday I had a opportunity to sit down with University of Alberta. Maria was in town, so I had a quick chat with her as well. And it's great to see the interest that University of Alberta has in our community, and I think it's a godsend for us to work with them. I think that's a connection that we can foster more. We discuss about trades and what other things that we can bring to the community. Maybe that's a conversation that we need to foster and continue with University of Alberta. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Evans.
Thank you. I only have a couple of meetings to report, and that was on the 20th. I attended the library board meeting. This was my first one, actually, since I was reassigned there, and happy to say they've made a lot of improvements. Of course, the library has been tuned up. It looks much better. A lot more room in there, and they've shrunk their policy and procedures manual from about an 8-inch thick binder to about 35 pages, which is impressive in itself. And yeah, they seem to be moving along on some of the issues that needed to be addressed in there. So very impressed with the folks on that committee and what they've accomplished. And then I was actually roped into the charity golf tournament meeting. It happened to happen right after our library board meeting, and they told me to stay there. So, but having said that, some great ideas. Excited about it. I think it'll be a great event for all those involved, and of course, all the money raised is going to charity, and that'll all be laid out in the information package that we're sending out, looking for sponsors, et cetera. So yeah, I guess that's about it for me.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your report. Deputy Mayor Sheriffs.
Thank you. So I'll start off with the Healthy Community Coalition meeting that I attended. It's very interesting. We're hoping to bring some new things and new ideas to town that I'm sure Geraldine is in touch with Pat that will come to council. Then I also attended the Poverty Interagency meeting. And what we were really concentrating on is what the town currently has, what we need, and what we could possibly bring to town. And one of the things that really struck with me is the need for support for youth. I guess currently there is approximately 15 youth in our community that are couch surfing. And some of them are in trouble with addictions, and some of them have issues with their families, can't go home. Shelter pods are pretty full most of the time. So that was actually really sad to hear. And also men's mental health. There was a situation where somebody got in touch with me, and I was trying to get in touch with somebody from the men's mental health, and that committee is not quite open yet. It's really hard to arrange meetings, and I think we should really maybe concentrate on helping them a little bit more, whether it's maybe financially, contributing to coffee or pizza for them to actually establish a place to meet, because it seems to be an issue in our town too. I attended via Zoom the charity golf preparation meeting, and very excited, looking forward to that, even though I'm not a good golfer. I attended the Eagle Point Blue Rapid meeting, and happy to say that they have enough funds to go ahead with the purchase of the van, the education van. So that will be coming soon. Also, this Friday, there's the brewski at the Pembina Nordic Ski, and that looks like a very fun event. I won't be able to attend, but I'd, really encourage people to go. And I think it's $30 per person to purchase online and $40 at the gate. And last night, Mayor Dodds and I convinced her husband to go and do some painting for our mural to go on a wall. And that was really exciting. So I'd encourage people to contact the Drayton Valley Art Society and get their little tile and do some painting.
Perfect. Thank you for that one. Yes, thanks for speaking about the Art Society as well and our mural that we're excited to be bringing to our community. Councillor McGee is not here. Councillor Clark.
A couple things. I attended on Saturday morning the Junior Lifeguard Club opening ceremonies. Went very well attended. I think there's 112 kids there from all over Alberta. And just to note about that, I think there was 4 or 5 records smashed by Drayton swimmers. So that was good. And those are provincial records. So it was really good. And then just the Hunter thing on Sunday. I just wanted to take a few moments just to thank some people. So Sarah Emmons, the president of the Drayton Valley Ringette Association. Of course, the town of Drayton Valley, there's so many people to thank. There's numerous people that were involved. Carriage Welding, of course, Crush Promo had some contributions. The Drayton Valley Ringette Association, the Sherwood Park Ringette Association, the kids that came from Sherwood Park were very, very good. And I got a couple notes from actually a couple of the coaches there, and they said they were so happy to be part of that. So that was fantastic. And of course, Kathy Matlock for taking the photos. Just a few, yeah. So a lot of the photos you see associated with that were Kathy's work. So thank you for that. And then the family, there was lots of tears on the bench, let me tell you that. Lots of people were so excited and happy that Hunter was able to experience that. So that was great. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your report, and thank you very much for your efforts too. I know you thanked a lot of people in there and a big long list, but you were also to be included in there. So really appreciate that, Colin, and stepping up and making that happen as well. That was absolutely fantastic for our community. For my report, over the last couple of weeks, I've had some healthcare meetings in regards to kind of what's happening again. Those are always ongoing, right? Never solving those. I attended the Drayton Valley Memorial Open House, which will be coming up to council in the future here. I've had some mid-sized town mayors caucus meetings. We'll be heading to Spring Leaders Caucus next week, hopefully having some meetings with some ministers, and mid-sized towns mayors are also will be meeting there with the ministers, as well as we're trying to get more mayors from across Alberta, mid-sized towns, to join to be that louder voice with us. I've been preparing for the upcoming events that are happening. Women in Business this Saturday, the Chamber is hosting, so that's going to be a fantastic day for the women in the business. And it sounds like there's some exciting sessions that'll be happening down at the CETC. And then next Saturday is National Women's Day on March 8th. So we'll be raising the ceiling, is that the right term, at the Nodding Donkey. Tickets are on sale for all women and men, I guess, but I don't know if you want to be a man in the audience, but they're on sale as well if you want to join us. And I think that we have posters all up throughout the community. Hoping to see a lot of people turn out for that. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon. I as well had a meeting with the U of A team, Maria and Geraldine, on Monday as well, just talking about our education initiatives and some of the things that Geraldine had brought to Healthy Communities Coalition, as well as there are some grant dollars still on the table from Future Skills. And one of the things that Maria had said is that none of the businesses are utilizing that. So I said that I would maybe have a little chat with Jocelyn after about to kind of fill her in about that and seeing if we can maybe reach out to our businesses to say, you know, there's these dollars for their grant dollars. How can we assist you? Like, what type of training do you need and things like that? And I kind of forgot all about it as well, right? And we've got this money. Future Skills has been a huge partner with us kind of in our journey. So we've got to kind of get the word and tie it to everything that we're doing. So hopefully we'll see some businesses utilizing that. CAO brief, and then Alberta Council meeting as well. We're still advocating for the things that we're advocating, and there's lots of stuff happening. Monica and I are heading to the legislative building on Thursday for the reading of the budget and what will be happening there. So hopefully our some of our asks have been heard. We probably won't hear till the coming weeks or months, and I know that even our community organizations have some asks there. So hopefully Drayton Valley will be successful and included on those budget line items and discussion. And then I also had the pleasure of attending the Skating Club and Carnival on a Saturday. 70 years the skating club has celebrated in our community, so that's pretty spectacular. I never realized that it was 70 years. It seems like 70 has been that golden number for so many things that have been happening in the last couple of years. So it's nice to see the community come together. Big thank you to the skaters, the coaches, the volunteers, the parents, everyone that makes these types of events happen. And that is it for my report. Is there a member of council who would like to make a motion to accept the council reports as information? Councillor Gamana, thank you for that. All in favor? That is carried. Roundtable discussions, does anybody have? Go ahead, Councillor Clark.
So on Thursday, which would be, I guess, be tomorrow, I am going to be attending a virtual session to do with the childcare needs assessment. So hopefully gain a better understanding of what they're doing and thinking there. So I'll report back on that when we come back.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And then Friday too, for anyone they want to jump on, Alberta Council sent out the webinar budget summary. That's at noon there for that link. It'll be an hour long about to kind of give the folds and notes of what, rather than the 100 or it's condensed. It's still 100 and some pages, but they won't read the whole 100 and some pages too. It'll just be a little bit more condensed. That's happening. Thank you to also to the performance. I think it's Miss Joanne's Fiddler on the Roof is happening this weekend too. So that's very exciting. I've heard so much hustle and bustle in our community. They're going to be running that for 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So there's always something happening in Drayton Valley. So it's so nice to see. And as Monica had mentioned, please reach out to the Drayton Valley Fine Arts Society. You can find them on Facebook or did they give an email? It's on Facebook? Okay, so there's an email on Facebook to make sure that you get your tiles to be part of the amazing mural that will be being unveiled and going live in the late April. So 26th of April is the projected date for that. So if you want to get involved and have your art displayed, make sure you grab a tile. Anybody else have anything for Roundtable? No? Okay, moving along, we have information items. We have 13.1, which is the resolution action list, 13.2, quarter 3 community policing report, 13.3, letter from MLA Bachenko regarding the Opportunity Treatment and Recovery Center funds that they've received. 13.4 is for a letter from the Minister of Health. 13.5 is the Public Safety and Emergency Services letter from Minister Ellis. 13.6 is Brazeau Foundation meeting minutes from the January 16th meeting. 13.7 is the Canadian Heritage River System. This was a response letter. And 13.8 is Transportation and Economic Corridors Office of the Minister. Is there a member of council that would like to accept these information items as information, please? Councillor Sheriffs? Thank you for that. All in favor? That is carried. And we will move into closed session. Is there a member of council that'd like to make a motion that is up on the screen, please? Councillor Clark?
I will make a motion that council move into closed session at 10:52 a.m. in accordance with FOIP section 16.1 CI, I believe that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. All in favor? That is carried.